Hey guys, Mary here. I figured I'd do another live stream, and in this live stream, I'll be discussing shows that I highly recommend watching. Um, these are the ones that I really highly recommend watching. Alrighty, to start off would be Drake and Josh. I highly recommend watching Drake and Josh for sure. Um, and everything. They got some really good episodes that I enjoy watching. Um, Next up, I highly recommend um, watching Full House. I recommend it and stuff. I usually watch season one and season two. Um, those are the ones that I really watch the most. Um, Teen Mom OG. Um, I recommend watching it. I highly recommend watching it for sure. Um, I highly recommend watching uh, Teen Mom 2. Uh, Teen Mom 3, I highly recommend watching it. Uh, Brianna from Teen Mom 3, she is now on Teen Mom 2. And Mackenzie from Teen Mom 3 is now on Teen Mom OG. Um, but I do highly recommend watching those. Um, Another show that I highly recommend watching is The Thundermans. I highly recommend watching it. Um, I highly recommend watching Henry Danger as well. Uh, I highly recommend watching Game Shakers. I like watching them for sure as well. And I highly recommend watching it. All right. Next up is iCarly. I highly recommend watching iCarly. Um, I also highly recommend watching Victorious. I highly recommend watching it. They got some good episodes. Um, I highly recommend watching Cupcake Wars. Uh, I highly recommend watching WWE Monday Night Raw. Um, I highly recommend watching WWE Friday Night SmackDown. I highly recommend watching it too. Um, I highly recommend watching Holiday Baking Championship. I highly recommend watching it. Um, Thomas and Friends. I highly recommend watching it as well. Um, let's see here. Um, I highly recommend watching Married with Children. They got some uh, funny episodes for sure. Um, and all that. They got some funny episodes like at one that I talked about there in my previous live stream about the satellite dish. It's funny. Um, let's see here. Oh yeah, and the one uh, when Al and Jefferson puts together this it's like a workbench that they try to put together um, and everything, and uh, they get like electrocuted, and it's funny. Um, Even the part where they was in the shopping mart, um, in the food mart and everything, it was funny. They was like doing a shopping contest to see who could get the most groceries, um, and everything. It was real funny, and I really recommend watching because it's a funny show, uh, and everything. They do a lot of funny stuff for sure. Uh, okay. Next up is Blue's Clues. I highly recommend watching it. Uh, and everything. I like it a lot. Like I talked about previous live stream. Um, I highly recommend watching it. They got some good episodes and everything, and it's like I really like the part when Blue was a baby and everything. I enjoy it. Uh, Usually, the seasons that I would highly recommend watching, um, I'd have to say would be season 5 and season 6 would be the ones that I really highly recommend watching for sure. Um, some episodes of um, season 4 is highly recommended as well. Uh, JJ the Jet Plane, I highly recommend watching it for sure. Um, Augie and the Cockroaches, I recommend watching it highly. Um, I also highly recommend watching the uh, Powerpuff Girls. I recommend watching it. Uh, I highly recommend watching Roly Poly Oly. Uh, I highly recommend watching Teletubbies for sure as well and stuff. I've watched Teletubbies um, for a long time and everything, and I really enjoy uh, most of the episodes and everything. They do have some good episodes of the Teletubbies for sure. Okay. Next up is SpongeBob SquarePants. I highly recommend watching SpongeBob for sure. Um, Usually, when I watch SpongeBob, the ones that I usually highly recommend to watch is like season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, uh, season 6. Um, and I also recommend watching uh, season 9, season 10, uh, all the way up to season 13. Uh, and the way I seen and stuff, the way I seen here the other day, I believe they're still working on some new episodes at some point. Um, and all that. I do definitely highly recommend watching for sure. Dora the Explorer. Um, I highly recommend watching Dora. I do. Dora the Explorer for sure. When I watch Dora the Explorer, I usually watch season 2, season 3, season 4, more or less, and I've watched a few episodes from season 1. Uh, there's some that I recommend. It just depends on the episodes that you really highly like watching, more or less. Um, the Fairly Odd Parents. I highly recommend watching them. Tom and Jerry. I highly recommend watching Tom and Jerry. Uh, I highly recommend watching the Fresh Beat Band. Um, I highly recommend watching the Doodle Bops as well. I highly recommend watching Baby Looney Tunes, um, Max and Ruby, absolutely. Uh, Power Rangers SPD, also known as Space Patrol Delta. I highly recommend watching it. Uh, Power Rangers Mystic Force, I recommend that as well. Highly recommend. Um, I highly recommend watching Rubbadubbers as well. Um, I highly recommend watching the Backyardigans, um, Higglytown Heroes, um, Bob the Builder, Little Einsteins, uh, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Tom and Jerry Tales, Wow Wow Woodsy, Back at the Barnyard, uh, Care Bears Unlock Magic, The Garfield Show, Ni Hao Kai Lan, Annoying Orange, Fanboy and Chun Chun, True Jackson VP, Team Umizoomi, Bubble Guppies, The High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange, Angry Birds Tunes, Paw Patrol, Rabbids Invasion, Wander Over Yonder, The Tom and Jerry Show, Wally Kazam, Shimmer and Shine, Mickey and the Roadster Racers, Puppy Dog Pals, Unikitty, Disney Mickey Mouse, um, Disney Tsum Tsum. I recommend watching it. Ready Steady Wiggle, Blues Clues and You, The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, Gabby's Dollhouse, Count Coral SpongeBob's Underyears, Mickey Mouse Funhouse, Tom and Jerry in New York, Angry Birds Summer Madness, Super Kitties. I highly recommend watching Dora as well. Uh, it's like I talked about in my previous live stream. It's the newer series um, from the previous series of Dora the Explorer and stuff. This here is the newest series of Dora, and I do highly recommend watching it for sure. My Little Pony Pony Life, and The Wiggles. Those are the ones that I highly recommend watching. Um, in my next live stream, I'll be discussing movies that I highly recommend watching. It'll be in my next one, which will be tomorrow. Um, I hope y'all enjoyed this last stream, and I appreciate those of you that took the time to tune in. I'd beyond greatly appreciated. It means a lot to me and my channel. Um, I appreciate it more than words. Um, I hope y'all enjoyed the live stream, and I hope y'all enjoyed the uploads and the post on my community tab as well. And I will be back tomorrow with another live stream, and I hope y'all have a wonderful night, day, and evening. And I hope y'all enjoyed this live stream, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye bye for now.